Hello, everybody, and welcome to 48-Hour Art Check round 124. Today we're going to talk about something pretty close to my heart recently. Pretty fresh. A pretty fresh take on it, I guess. But before we get to that, Emily, what have you gotten done in the last art check?
So, the beginning of last week, I did great. I think I talked about this last time. I wrote 3 episodes. Well, I wrote 2 episodes, but I rewrote one of a different episode, so I basically wrote 3 episodes, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't write anything else after that. I didn't finish anything. I started another episode, but I just wasn't feeling it for some reason.
Okay.
So I'll just get into challenges, I guess, when I get there.
You have something shared.
I do have some sketches that I did. I did do that. I trying to get, when somebody looks and you can see their jowl, I was trying to draw that where you can see when somebody's head is tilted, what that looks like, because it's not the same. Anyways, so I was drawing that, and then I can't see because there's so much crap on my desk. And then that one, let's see, the one up left, on the top left, moved to this. I sketched it some more, and that's the only good work I've done is some sketches. Sorry, but
How dare you? We judge productivity so hard here. Really quick, hi Ronnie. For me, I'll start with this little guy. I'm going to show as much of this as I'm comfortable with, which is only what's Emily's seen. Well, I drew a guy.
Yay! It's so good.
I drew him. Thank you. I didn't trace him at all.
Wow!
I definitely used this reference photo, but I didn't trace him.
It's all good.
There's not a single piece of him that's traced.
Yay, that's wonderful.
Thanks. So I did that. I'm not going to say anything about what it's going to wind up being because I genuinely may never show it because it's not going to look great. But
it's okay.
I'm trying. And then the other thing, I finished my thingy-majigger.
Wow.
And then I create all of these little social... Oh, geez. How do I zoom in on here? Well, not important. Nope. Anyways, I created these social media posts with these kids and...
Nice.
Thanks. So I just kind of did that, and I created all these graphs. I think I showed that already.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of a pain. Oh, thank you. Fancy. If you want to scan a QR code, go back. It's super interesting. It doesn't even apply to anybody because if they don't do it, then one sec. But I had to mess with some color correcting. I don't know if you've ever had to deal with that for print.
Oh yeah, I do that because I switched from RGB to CMYK.
No,
CMYK.
I designed in CMYK and the printer was still stupid. So the printer. So this and this are the same exact hex code.
What?
Don't ask me how.
Oh, they're the same hex code, but they're slightly transparent, right?
Nope.
It's lower opacity?
Nope. This is 100% and that's 100%. I have zero clue. No, they're not the same hex code. They're the same CMYK code. Anyways, so this is the color corrected version where the pink is actually more pink and not a bright red, because when I printed it, it all printed as a stop sign red.
Oh, reds, man.
Yeah, so
one thing that I've realized is that a lot of printers are actually really kosher with RGB these days.
Yeah, the school does not have that.
Because like a lot of places you could take it to, you could make something in RGB and it won't even be half bad. So yeah, but you never know. Everybody's different, but
so
nice.
Thanks. So yeah, I did all that stuff. But I'm trying to think. I don't think there was anything else. Oh,
I heard that. That was loud.
That hurt.
Yeah, it sounded like it hurt.
I'm just really happy I did not hit my funny bone. But yeah. So that's like what I have gotten done. Ronnie apparently recently released the second episode of A Vengeful Heart. Congrats.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Let's see.
Awesome.
I think I read the first episode on that one. I'm gonna go check. I believe it's on Tapas, if anybody, or
I think that sounds right.
Tapas. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. Sounds some tapas.
Nice. It is called The Prophecy.
Heart. Oh.
The episode, sorry, my bad. It's called A Vengeful Heart.
Like, we all know that.
It's called The Prophecy. The episode is... Hi, Maddie.
Hello.
Challenges. Oh, I totally switched what screen you're on.
What do you mean?
There we go.
Okay. Anyways.
I was looking, you were on my TV and the camera was on my computer screen.
Oh. Okay. Challenges. I just wanted to play video games. So I did. I don't think that's half bad because
we all deserve a break.
I haven't played a lot of video games in a long time, or like a substantial amount. And I bought a game for my PC, and so I wanted to play it, you know? So I played some Resident Evil 2. Boy, I am way better at shooting with a mouse. Is that hot pasta?
I just burned the crap out of my tongue. I'm sorry. You're talking about Resident Evil. Keep going.
Anyways.
I'm so sorry.
I was like, something happened.
You see it? Like bright red right there.
Oh.
I'll talk about my challenges in a minute, and that's why I have to eat pasta right now. But my friend just went and got me water. They watched it in like real time. They just watched me like sink down, touch the metal. Thank you very much.
Oh man. You poor burnt tongue.
I'm such a child.
I didn't realize it was so hot. I was sitting there for like a couple minutes.
Dude, that's what I thought.
Wow.
That's what I thought too. Everybody, look at my cool bowl for my in-laws.
Nice.
They got me a black one and a white one. Anyways, it's been like sitting there for 10 minutes, and I was like,
I thought it was there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
Dang.
Not at all. The spoon touched my tongue, and I felt it.
Oh,
Anyways.
The spoon was marinating in the heat.
I'm not the smartest. Anyways. So,
yeah.
Emily played Resident Evil.
Yeah. I just wasn't feeling it, and I just wanted to do something that I wanted to do. So, yeah. That was it.
Nice. For me, yeah. Ow. Thanks. Yeah. I can like totally see it. I don't know if you can.
Not really.
Yeah. I can see it because I can feel it, and so it's just slightly darker on that part of my tongue. Anyways, my challenges. One of them I'm gonna talk about because the topic, and that is one of the most BS challenges I have ever had. That you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be very topic based. So I don't want to like get into the topic before we finish. The other thing, I need schedules. No matter what mental illness or disorder that may be, I haven't been confirmed autistic, but I need schedules. It's really bad. I cannot function if I don't have a schedule, and I don't have a job or school right now until in 2 weeks my job starts, and then I made it to where I can still do art check while I'm at work, so we don't miss as much time as we were going to. But like I can't. Lack of schedules creates a lot of challenges for me. It's very hard for me to function, to get anything done. I'm not a very on the whim person. Like my friend and I, like my best friend and I, we have like, okay, Mondays from this time to this time, we're hanging out. Like it's everything that I do is pretty set in stone beforehand, which is why I like that class happens like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or like stuff like that. But it's just weird because now that I'm not going to class before counseling, I have to like find, it's just so it throws me off. But yeah, so it's just a huge thing. Other than that, the thing I'm going to talk about for deadlines.
Okay.
Next art check.
Ooh. Oh, tomorrow's Tuesday. Okay, that makes things a little bit better. I'm gonna write something. I'm going to sit down and write crap. Because I was on a roll the week before, and then last week I started strong, did not make it through. So this week I need to not necessarily catch up, but, you know, I need to do good. So I'm going to write.
Nice. I'm going to work more on this drawing. Whether or not I share it, that's a different thing. Emily will see it.
Yay!
I don't think I'm going to share it publicly because it's not turning out the way I want it to.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
It won't turn out the way you want it to, finally, and it won't for a while, and then suddenly it will, but it will take hard work and perseverance and all of that stuff.
Which I'm willing to put in.
Yeah, because stuff didn't look the way I pictured in my head for a very, very long time. It was just happy accidents. So.
Yeah, which like I've accepted that it's not going to happen. The reason I've accepted it is because I am not going to share it publicly.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Don't want to share it publicly, but it will be worked on. It's basically just fan art for this Twitch streamer, YouTuber. So it's literally just fan art because it's like an easy person to practice drawing and get used to it. So long-term, like super long-term goal, I want to finally draw my D&D character because you guys all have yours.
Yeah.
You guys all have yours and I don't have mine, and I still want to get everybody's files and put them in a thing and print it.
Oh.
But everybody's waiting on me a year and a half later to finally learn how to draw people or pay Emily to do it, which was the original plan. And then I never had the money to pay Emily to do it. So we're all here a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Literally a year and a half later. Do you realize that? That's
it's nuts because like I forget that even happened at times.
It was pre-COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane. Anyways, that's absolutely nuts. Our topic for the day is deadlines. This is our topic because I recently, if you have been watching, switched from visual communications to public relations. Yes, I'm still doing art check. I still am a creative. I'm just not majoring in it. Although technically I did complete the emphasis.
Yeah.
I definitely completed the emphasis.
You could always put that on your resume and nobody would check.
Oh, I'm totally going to. I completed the emphasis more than people who actually didn't and still say that they graduated.
Yeah.
Like, I did.
You did more.
Yeah. So, anyways, so technically, yes, I still was a visual comm student. I'm just not anymore. I do public relations now, and I really like public relations. You can see the book. Obviously, I put a lot of time into that. I did quite a bit of the copy. I just enjoy stuff like that. And the main issue that I had was that in visual communications, deadlines are so stressed. In graphic design, deadlines are so stressed because the project can't move forward without each little thing. In public relations, everybody can do their own little role and it doesn't have to come together until the end for it to be half decent. That's not how a good team works.
Right.
But for visual jobs, it's a lot more stressed. And I don't know for public relations jobs, but at least for the class, nobody freaking understood the importance of deadlines. And so all that I wanted to do was talk about how important deadlines are, because I have been holding this in. And I just can't believe how people don't know that deadlines are important.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I deal with this. I think, like, I don't know. We're a specific breed of people who care about deadlines because there's very few people who care. Like, or just that their job revolves around that. Like the catalog that I do.
Oh yeah.
That's a huge thing. Also, so last year, almost I didn't count, even though I worked on that catalog. I was not given the resources to create the catalog until the month I was supposed to originally go to print. And it's a 4-month project. But COVID happened. The publisher was super, like, understanding that we didn't know when we were going to get that kind of information, blah, blah, blah. It got published in October, beginning of November. So anyways, that was last year. This year, though, I gave it off. I sent it off a day early. So it got printed entirely on schedule. We received it the day that we were supposed to by mail when I scheduled this with them 4 months prior.
Wow.
So, and that was kind of just, I assumed it was rough, but we got it like the day that we were supposed to. Anyways, I was talking to, like, the CEO about it and, like, the head of sales dude. And they were like, yeah, we like never have it in time. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, it's always, like, up in the air whether or not we're going to get it in time for Summer NAMM, which is a big music, like, convention type thing. Okay. But it's like it's very much like the business side of music. So, like, if you do well at NAMM, then you have a fruitful year. So anyways, they're like, oh yeah, it's always a toss-up whether or not we're actually going to get it in time for NAMM. We always do, but it's always like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, oh, well, I got it in the day. Anyways, I got a bonus.
Nice.
Bonus for doing it on time. So yeah.
You got some extra Hawaii money.
I got actual rewards from, anyways, but I had to deal with so many people who didn't care about deadlines to the level that I did. It's not their project. Their job is going to keep going even if I never make the catalog, which, like, my assumption is if I don't do the thank you. Thank you. If I don't do the catalog, the worst case scenario is I get fired, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nobody else is affected that much or cares. It'll be an inconvenience. And it'll suck for a little bit until you have the catalog if I don't make the catalog, right? But for me, consequences are dire. So I mean, like there is a reason why we have it, and it is extremely useful and important for sales and stuff like that. But anyways, it would just be an inconvenience for all of those people, and it would suck. But I would die. So, and I had to deal with a lot of people who didn't understand the weightiness of, no, this goes to print in a month. I need this now. Like, I need this information from you now. Yesterday would be better. And so it was a lot of me just nagging people and trying to get them. Like, I set deadlines for when I wanted them. I still didn't get stuff for like weeks or a month after I'd asked for it originally or agreed on a deadline for them to deliver something to me. Like an ad fell through and I had to fill that page because we had already had a page count, like stuff like that. Just a lot of people, it does not matter to them if I succeed or not necessarily. Like, I'm sure they would feel bad if I failed like really terribly because of them or whatever. But yeah, so I feel what you're saying. And it's really weird that a lot of people still don't care about deadlines, or just like when I ask somebody for something and they don't do it in a timely manner. I don't understand that. I don't get it.
Yeah. What baffled me, so I was the designer for this project.
And you ended up being everything for the project.
And I asked the manager, I said, hey, can you write out this, like, just a summary of the event? And she wrote 2 sentences. And she was like, what did you want for this section? I was like, I don't know. Be a manager.
Yeah.
Find out. And it just, sorry, was that too harsh?
No. I'm getting mad for you.
Thank you. No, and so I don't like being mean. Emily, I feel like, can attest to this. I might get a little worked up on art check, but that's a very different side of me. I don't like it's the screen thing. In real life, I don't call people out. I do my own thing. Like, I've had people yell at me as a TA and I just like shut down and was like, I'm gonna talk to my boss about you later, but I'm just gonna chill. And I went to the professor and I was like, all right, listen. This is BS.
Yeah.
I was like, and this book turned out great, but I just feel like maybe it is that some of us are just a different breed. I feel like it's common sense. Like, do people just miss out on that common sense portion?
No, it's just that people don't work with deadlines. They don't understand. Okay, see, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Your whole group is going to be like, wow, this is wonderful. I slacked off, but the rest of my team pulled through. That was magic. Wow, I'm a jerk, right? Or
I really hope that's what happens.
That's the most you can expect, right? What's going to happen is going to be, or it'll be like, wow, that was great. I don't know how that happened. And then they're going to move on, right? I don't know how this pulled together like that. And you'll be the only one who knows. Because nobody else knows. You haven't sat down and told your group, hey, by the way, why don't you all raise your hand for the part you did? Let's go through this sentence by sentence, right?
Oh, I wish.
So they're going to have no idea how much you did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're just going to move on because they don't know. Like, they don't know what they caused for you. So they're not going to. Anyways, this stuff happens all the time where people are just like, yeah, they don't need me that much, right? Mm-hmm. They don't know that other people toiled to pick up the slack. So, yeah. Like, that's how it is for the catalog. Like, I'm not going to be a stinker to anybody who could reprimand anybody else because it's a bad look. But at the end of the day, I had to compensate a lot for other people who just didn't do stuff in time.
If it was a paid job, I definitely would have treated it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a grade. And I had professors that I know come to me and say, you need to tell your professor because they should not pass.
Right. And that's very different. So like
Yeah.
I could still speak up if it was like I did at times. You have to handle it tactfully when it's like a job or whatever, because
you don't want to get fired because you're complaining.
Well, and also you work with those people and you'll probably work with them for a while, you know. They're not going anywhere. You don't have any plans of going anywhere. So, anyways, but what I would do is like I always had like bi-weekly meetings with my boss, and he'd ask, "Well, what do you need?" And I'll be like, "Well, so and so must be super busy because they haven't gotten me this, or this. Maybe you could talk to them. Like, it would be great if you could get them to get that to me or just find out what's going on."
Yeah.
And so that's how I handled stuff when it was too much. Most of the time I was just really irked. And each catalog, I'm just going to push those deadlines further ahead so that I have my own deadlines, and I've given them deadlines, and their deadlines are a month ahead of my deadline. Like, that's what I'm going to do next year. So I'm just going to give them way, way, way early deadlines, because those were honest deadlines that I gave them this year. And I had to scramble because I didn't have that information. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so again, this is one of those, if you've been watching us for a while, but I was creative director over something. I've been creative director twice over 2 different projects. One of them I was creative director the whole time. The other one I swapped, and I don't even know what my title wound up being. I think I was assistant art director last set. Yeah. the jack of all trades. And I have never, for this recent project, I feel awful for the girl who wound up being creative director. She's one of the nicest people in the world that I've ever met. And she got so screwed over by everybody. And so at the end of the project, I was like, by the end of the project, I stopped doing the project for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I still did more than everybody else in the group except 2 people, which was her and the art director. That's how little everybody cared. And
that's kind of terrible for that class, by the way. Anyways.
Yeah. It was like, it started off with 4 of us in the class, and it wound up with only 2 in the class. But the creative director wasn't even in the class. So yeah. So it was like this huge mess. But like, the weird thing is, like, and this isn't weird because, like I said, she's one of the nicest, most responsible. Like, she reminds me of me when I first started working in the visual department, except way nicer. Way nicer. But she, like, planned out everything and had a checklist and then a Gantt chart and then a new Gantt chart because people were missing deadlines, and then, like, all of this stuff, and like hounding, like, I gotta get stuff from you. And at one point I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I was told create ads, and then I wasn't told anything else or given anything. And she was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, do you need some? I was like, do you need something? And she was like, yeah, literally anything you can make in the next few hours would be fantastic. And so I put 4 ads together for her. I don't think I ever showed them on here, but it was like last week, so I should have, but I think I forgot. But I like made these 4 ads for her, and it baffles me. The reason I'm sharing this isn't to be like, oh, like, I'm so good, or like any, like, it baffles me that you can have like 5 deadlines and still not make anything. But like, the project is simple enough that somebody else that has talent, at least, like, not talent, skill. I feel like talent implies it's like inherent. Skill implies that you've worked for it. That has skill can do it in 4 hours, 4 of them in 4 hours. Like,
Right.
This is why they always talk about how people are replaceable. That just clicked in my head. This is the exact reason. I've listened to the "you're replaceable" conversation, like, lecture, like 20 times, and I never got it until this exact moment.
You're like, I didn't realize it until I replaced somebody.
I didn't realize it until I replaced 5 people this semester.
Oh my gosh.
Myself just replaced like 5 minimum people this semester.
Man.
But like,
it does baffle me because I get it. Okay, there was moments where I had to play devil's advocate. Nope, Bruno, you don't get to be on the desk right now. Okay. Where as a TA for that class, I would get so mad at people, but then I'd have to remind myself where their perspective is. And as a student, you have to take this class. You're paying for this class. On top of that, a lot of these students don't plan ahead super well, and they plan all of their hardest classes for the semester because it's their last semester. So they do their senior project. They have another class that's like a capstone somehow. And then they have this design capstone. And then they don't do well at any of them because they need to meet a subpar level for all of them, and that's just enough. Yeah, that they can't. And school is already rough enough when it like I get to come home and not do work. You know what I mean? It's not that way for students, especially when you're like trying to crank it all out and leave. And so I get that. I can see why they're like, this in the long term scheme of things, this does not matter, right? Like, I just need to survive.
Yeah.
And so I get that, but at the end of the day,
you're not surviving.
Yeah, at the end of the day, people will still do it at their jobs and like anywhere else. Like, procrastination is just huge, and I don't know. It's something you have to like be disciplined about to get good at, because when I have something, I just start on it, or I schedule when I'm going to work on it or something like that. And that's a huge habit that I made myself do over time, that it's uncomfortable if I don't do that now. And I'm more and more separated from, I don't know, high school Emily who just did homework the night before it was due, you know?
Yeah.
So,
has ever seeing somebody, and this is a loaded question.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to preface this. There has been a time in my life where I missed deadlines a lot.
Yeah, me too.
There has been, I'm not like harassing the people where it's like you're going through something and like, because I wasn't TA anymore because I dropped the ball a lot because I mean, you know, like I had like health issues up the it was insane. Yeah, health issues up the wazoo, and it was nuts. And so like I dropped the ball everywhere, and I knew it. So I'm talking about the people that don't know that missing deadlines has any impact on themselves or anybody else. Has anybody ever missing deadlines enough ruined that person for you?
Ooh.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Because it's hard. It ruined somebody for me.
I mean, it is a loaded question. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, the answer is yes. So like, yes, there was somebody in school a really long time ago who like abandoned this event, and we had to like, it was a planned like event, and it was a ride thing to some place in Idaho, some pretty place in Idaho. We're going to take pictures, and the girl who was driving got mad, and I don't remember why. It was pretty inconsequential. I think it was like her friend couldn't come, and the only reason why was because there wasn't enough spots in the car. She got really mad about that and was like, I don't see why my friend can't come, da 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 da. And I was like, there's literally not enough seats for her. I don't know what else to tell you. Anyways, so she was like, well, you know, good luck doing this. Like, she was going to be the ride. Anyways, we all like showed up, and no car came and picked us up. We had to text people like, oh, could you drive? Da da da. It was a nightmare. And she applied for a job, and I said don't hire her.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sure she's fine now, but I'm never going to trust her with that kind of responsibility again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And when I like tunnel vision when I'm mad at somebody, even if what they did was kind of small, it can impound with other small things. And so I am the kind of person where, yeah, if you let me down in a way that is irresponsible time and time again, and you don't email me back about crap or whatever, it gets harder and harder for me to appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
But I try real hard, like, to see the merits for those people. And so,
yeah.
But it's a big potential for me. It's happened once before, and it could happen any year now.
Yeah.
So again, so I would say yes.
I'm just wondering, because there have been 2 people that have been pretty much ruined for me.
Yeah.
Due to deadlines and stuff. And
Well, and when you're sitting there trying to do that project, you're also just stewing and fuming about how mad you are that other people just couldn't pull their stupid weight, which it was only 5 pounds, but now it's 50 for you, you know? Anyways.
Yeah, it's
I get mad about it.
Oh no. And the thing is too, for me, I don't know if this is for you, but I would rather people quit a project than say that they're doing it and then not do it.
This is
like,
actually,
I would rather them quit.
Yeah, this was actually something I said in Soapbox when I was like in leadership. I didn't tell people to quit, but I did say, hey, it is so much worse. It is so much worse for you to say, yes, I can do this, and then not do it. Just say you can't do it. And if you said you can do it and you can't do it, don't be embarrassed, please. I don't care if you're embarrassed. Just tell somebody, because otherwise you're going to screw everybody over. I did not say that harshly, but that's how I would say it now. Like, it does not matter if you're embarrassed. I do not care. I want to know if you're not going to finish this. And I'll trust you if you can tell me that. You know, like, way more respect for somebody who can say, actually, I don't think I can do this. I need help, da-da-da, right? As opposed to somebody who drops the ball, never tells anybody, because they never find out how hard everybody else had to work for them. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. They're never going to find out the consequences of their inaction because they didn't care to find out. They didn't even care to tell anybody.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. No, it's yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I like got on like a train of thought while you were saying that, and now I'm so far down my train of thought. I need to like backtrack.
You're like, how do I get back?
I was agreeing with you. 100% is what I was thinking. Yeah. No, it's baffling.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody in the, like, I will say the group that I worked with for that PR book, mm-hmm. 3 of them basically said, I'm too busy to work on this, so it's all on you. And I was like, great. And then the other girl did help. The other one did help. There was one that stuck with me to the end. And the other three were just like, I'm really busy. Like one was like, I actually have to go to a wedding instead of show up to class, so I'm not gonna be there. And we were like,
why didn't you say anything?
Yeah, but it just like, I don't understand how people are created without common sense.
It's not the common sense, it's the disregard.
That's fair.
They're deciding which things they want to care about, and that project was not one of them. I also
like, I know that I have always cared about deadlines. I just know I haven't been able to hit them at, certain times in my life.
Right.
And I just don't get how you don't, like, how do you sleep at night? I still feel bad. Okay, listen, that semester where I was like sick and stuff, I dropped the ball on 10 million things. I was awful. And I still like feel like absolute crap. This was almost a year ago, and I still hate myself for it. Like, I don't know. Not hate myself, but like, I still beat myself up for it. Like, how do you not care? I don't get it. I do not get it.
Yeah.
I
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You're like, I'm the wrong person to ask, Kayla. I care.
This is like a thing, because like, I definitely didn't care as a teenager. I do as an adult. I think it's a huge like growing up responsibility discipline thing, and it just takes time, because discipline is a self-motivated thing. And so some people will never pass a certain threshold, and people who do, it's hard to, and it takes years sometimes. So like, I get that. And I feel like you're going to find this the most with student projects, student group projects, because of the age.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's just like, there's only, so one thing that I did hear, this is from like a podcast, he was talking about how the school his son goes to, the entire school only does stuff by group project. Everything is group project.
No thanks.
And so as a freshman, he got screwed over by his classmates. Anyways, so he did a parent-teacher conference or whatever, and was like, what the freak? Like, my kid worked this hard. All of his classmates did this. He got a poor grade because of it. They're like, it all shakes out. Don't worry. This is what happens at this school. Everybody gets burned by somebody, and they don't work with them anymore. And what happens with the kids who burn all the other kids, they're only stuck with each other. And so the ones who do good are like, hey, I remember you. You didn't screw me over. Will you be in my group next time? And so what happens is people...
It's like natural selection.
Yeah. And so it sucks that your grade is actually impacted by who, because you could accidentally just end up working with duds the whole semester and get a poor grade, but like, that would have bothered me a lot in high school, because I finished with like a 3.8 or something. Like, I had 1 B in all of high school. And so
did you guys not do like the weighted thing?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. I got 1 B and the rest were A's, A minuses, A pluses. Anyways, very few A pluses, because I was a slacker.
You and I were very different people in high school.
Well,
we've established this before. But...
And then I got to college and I was like, I don't need an A. I don't need one at all, because it's actually not, though. I went to school in Arizona. It was like 49th in the country. It was not too hard to excel. I promise you. So Yeah, like there were classes I slept through and still got an A because the teacher just was there to play football. So, or to coach football. Anyways, I could go on a whole rant about my high school education because I cared about it, but nobody else did, including the people who taught me. Anyways, so
you came up to college and were like in Kerr's class and you're like, oh Jesus.
Well, yeah, and then I showed up to the comm class. I had 103 with Kerr. He doesn't teach 103 very
130?
often.
Was it 130?
No, the first one. That's 103,
Visual?
right? Yeah.
No, it's 130.
It's 130? Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm trying to figure out what 103 is.
I don't know now. And 101.
I'm missing a comm class.
101, where I show up at 6 a.m. and they're like, you better not fall asleep. If you fall asleep, I will know. And I will punish you or something. Anyways. And she scared the heck out of me. Kerr scared the heck out of me. And I showed up and I was like, I'm never going to ever turn anything late in ever because I'll die. And so I got real good at turning stuff in on time. And then when I became a TA, it kind of baffled me how many people like still didn't. Like I don't know. I might have used one mulligan, but I don't remember it. So I don't think I ever turned anything in late. Either I turned something in late or on time, or I just didn't turn it in. So like I don't think I used my mulligan. Which for people like. Yeah, for people who don't know, we had mulligans. They're like in golf, it's a do-over. So you get like an extra, depends on the teacher, but usually 48 hours. Yeah, to do your project and turn it in that window. You get one a semester. So you choose it wisely. Anyways, and I also was a person who was like, well, it's fine. This is just a small thing. I'll just not turn this in. I want to save it for a big project, but I never used it on the big projects.
That doesn't exist out of visual, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't because there's late policies. So Tim, for example, he had a teacher where you could turn in as much late stuff as you wanted as long as you gave the teacher Mountain Dew. Yeah.
Bro.
And so you had to bring Mountain Dew to the office and the paper, whatever was late. And so that's not a thing in comm because they teach you, because hard deadlines are a huge thing. My job specifically, like catalog, it goes to print. There's nothing you can do about it. You must do it on time.
I haven't had that outside of the visual part.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's only visual too.
Yeah.
Which is the visual department is the one that stresses the freaking deadlines the most. And then it's the one that's the most lenient.
It's because they set this hard law. Most people pass through it. Most people are like, oh my gosh, yes, I will do that. Oh my gosh, you scared the heck out of me. Kurt does this whole lecture about how
he kicks you in the back and
about how the girl slipped on the sidewalk, broke her face, and still did her homework, and then went to the hospital.
Yep.
And so he's like, you will do stuff on time in my class because somebody broke their face and still did their homework, and I don't get to differentiate. Yeah, and didn't even tell me until after the fact. You don't get to complain because you wanted to go play soccer or whatever, and now you're doing your late homework because she didn't even tell me. The people who do come to me and tell me, some of them have legitimate reasons. Some of them are just trying to get away with stuff ask for as much as they can. And so I don't know what the people who aren't asking are going through. So you're going to do stuff on time, and I'll make some exceptions. He's actually really nice about it and way more generous than I was as a TA.
This is totally a side tangent. I had disability service. I have disability services, and one of the things I can do is negotiate deadlines for longer assignments.
Yeah.
And I was scared out of my freaking mind. I went up and I was like, I had a PTSD attack last night. I didn't get a single thing done.
I'm just hoping that maybe please, if you have time to think about it, maybe you could spare a little bit of spare time for me to get this done. Even though I'm going through a lot of crap right now.
But I remember he was like, just turn it in And
like
every time that you have something like this, just turn it in with a comment for my TA, which was you, that says disability services.
yeah, he's like, that's literally all I need. You don't need to tell me. Like, he's like, like you're like, even though I have a legitimate disability, I know that I turned this in late. Can you please let me do this one thing? I'm so sorry. And he'd be like, yes, I don't care. Go ahead. You know, who am I to say?
You actually have like a legitimate, it's a legitimate disability.
You have
fine.
an actual thing. It's fine.
The point that I'm making with that is like the people that I'm getting mad at aren't the people that have legitimate things going on.
Right.
And I know that they don't have legitimate things going on because they've told me.
Well, and also here's another thing. So like you have disability services, you get to negotiate the thing. That's established at the beginning of the semester. Also, you need to let them know. You need to give them a heads up. That's kind of part of the gig. Anyways,
I have to have a meeting with every professor. Yeah.
Like, but also you have to say, hey, this isn't late because I went to the movies. This is late because there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? And so that's very different. And you like do a thing that is like the best pairing with something being turned in late is you gave somebody a heads up. You said, hey, this is going to be late. I'm so sorry. Right? Even when you didn't exactly owe an apology because it was already a prior arranged agreement, you can turn stuff in late. Just tell me, you know? And so what that other girl, she just sprung it on everybody. Hey, I've got a wedding I've got to go to. Oh, people know when there's weddings, sometimes a year ahead of time.
Yes.
So like you need to give people heads up. It's if you admit that you can't do something on time or that something came up, people are way more lenient with you than if you didn't and then you didn't do it. And if you do that again and again and again, people aren't going to care if this is a prior arranged thing. They're going to be mad at you because you've screwed them over enough.
Yep.
So
and that's one thing that I noticed. I talked about how there was a time where the job that I had, I screwed over. I screwed over the professors who I look up to, who are my mentors, who I hold them like so freaking high on
giant pedestal,
on the respect level, and I screwed them over. And later I was talking to one of them, and I was like, yeah, I was like trying to get treated for this thing, and they put me on a med that actually made everything 10 times worse. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, no, like, because they were like, wow, you've improved so much this semester. I was like, yeah, I stopped taking this pill.
You're like, yeah, change of medication, man. Crazy.
I was like, yeah, they put me on an anxiety medicine. Fun fact, I don't have anxiety, and what it did was give me anxiety and depression.
No.
So I couldn't. Yeah, I don't have anxiety. I genuinely just have PTSD-induced anxiety. So they put me on a anxiety medicine that's also an antidepressant. I don't have depression. And so they medicated me, completely screwed me up. But the thing is, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. But like, if anybody, like, even if somebody like came to like this semester, okay, the whole group screws me over. It's a PR thing, whatever. If next semester somebody from that group came up to me and was like, hey man, I couldn't talk about it at the time. I didn't know what was going on. This is what happened. And like owned up for it. Like owned up to it, which, by the way, sucks. It sucks because I've had to do it.
Right.
I had to do it with two people.
And you have to like swallow your pride and shamefully come with your tail between your legs and be like, I messed up.
Yeah, and be like, oh, I am fully aware that I screwed you over and I'm sorry. And like, please, like, if you give me another chance, I'm not screwing it up this time. I promise. Like, which is what I did. I was the lab assistant this semester, and I did not screw up once.
Yeah.
I was very adamant about
That's
like,
a huge part about it is you gotta earn trust back sometimes.
This auto-focusing camera. I moved
Yeah,
too much.
don't we don't have the exact same one. I was gonna say
I
we
have
have the same
one
one
that's
and
really similar.
it's very similar though.
But
I
like,
will also add that story about the girl who screwed us all over and then I said not to hire her.
yeah,
Like couple years down the road, she was like, "Hey," like we were just chatting because she's like a mutual. So like I ran into her a lot actually, and I thought for a really long time that she forgot or didn't realize how badly that
yeah,
impacted me. And how embarrassing it was. Anyways, because she was hunky dory every time she saw me after. And then like a couple years down the road, she's like, "Hey, remember that one time when I threw a fit and was a total brat and screwed you over? Yeah, sorry." Anyways, let's keep talking about what we were talking about before. Like it was like this moment where I could see that she had regretted it and regretted it enough to bring it up a really long time after.
yeah.
Or it just it bugged her enough. Anyways, so like that alone was like enough for me to be like, all right.
Yeah.
You have redeemable qualities, and even this situation was redeemable. And I recognize that, and people are imperfect. You know what I mean?
I think if anybody from the group was like, "Hey, I messed up. I really want to fix it." I mean, I think I would do the same exact thing that the professors did with me, which was, here's a littler job.
Let's see how you do with this. Once you do good with that, then let's see how you do with this.
Yeah, and it was just kind of like I don't know. It sucked to be that person, but also like it did teach me how to be more understanding of people.
Yeah.
But only be be that amount of understanding when they freaking like own up to it. Like, because I went a whole semester.
It is a huge like, wow, you have redeemable qualities, which I already said, but I can't think of another word. Like you came back. You were Kylo Ren, but at the end, you kind of pulled through a little bit, just like, anyways, stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, like so the groups obviously were assigned, we didn't get to choose them, but like for the visual group for Zotst, we did get to choose our group. Did I dip out? Kinda. Like I dropped the class, but I still like talked to them and tried to do stuff, and it never happened until the very end.
You did more than you would have had to in that situation. Like I'm gonna say, yeah, you dropped the class, and everybody thought, well, shoot, somebody dropped the class. That means there's one less person working on this. But you still showed up and did crap when you had no reason to.
Yeah.
Like that's
thank you.
Nobody would have expected that from you.
I hope that they would have, because of the reputation I've set for myself.
I didn't expect you to do that because I was like, she doesn't owe them anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like you still did stuff even though you had no like association with it anymore.
Lower on the priority list for me.
Right. Yeah.
It was lower on the priority list to me until I saw how screwed over two of my friends got. Yeah. And I literally said, you have a few hours of my time, and then I have to get back to this PR thing. What do you need right now? It's like, whatever you can get to me right now, I will make for you. You have like 2 hours.
Speak now, please, because you're running out of time.
I really want to help you, but this is the only time that I can offer. But like, I mean, I just saw these students who, at the beginning, I was so psyched to have them on my team. So freaking psyched. And like, I didn't even get screwed over by them. Well, False. One of them I got severely screwed over by the whole time that I was creative director. And then I stepped down. And I was like, I gave the new creative director a warning. I was like, listen, man, you're going to get screwed over by this person.
They're not going to deliver.
I really hope that you won't, but you will. Like, just a heads up. But like, and then I just like, I don't know, have you ever done this where they didn't screw you over, but like you've watched other people get screwed over and you're like, I never want to associate with the person that just screwed over that.
Can I just say, okay, if you are a creative and you're watching this, okay, don't become a person that people know they can't depend on you. Don't become a person that gets a reputation for not doing crap on time, not doing crap at all. That
it's hard to redeem yourself from there.
Hard to redeem yourself. Hard to get any opportunities anymore and to grow. Even if you have overcome your laziness or procrastination or whatever was going on at the time that made you not deliver stuff on time or just quality or whatever, but you do not want to become a person who people know they can't trust, rely on you, or like that the output is not matching the talk. Yeah, the quality or what you're promising. Like, don't become that person in a creative field and creative job. Like, the impression you make with people is huge, and that determines whether or not you're going to make money from them again. And so, like, you need to make good impressions. You need to make people happy that they picked you. They need to, you need to, like, that's a huge thing. Like, if you want to foster, you foster relationships when you work with people. And if they come out of this with a bad taste in their mouth, now, if something happens and it's bad, you got to make up for it. Like, sometimes something could go amiss, but the way that you handle that and the way that you make them feel after the fact is so much bigger than the mistake. So, like, just the way you handle a crisis matters so much. And just, it's the worst thing you could do to yourself is become undependable. You're going to have to start fresh with a clean slate with other people if you do that. So, yeah.
And I've come back from that place. Not all the way yet.
Probably. No, listen. You did this once with a history. You had a history of doing stuff on time, and then you had a pocket where you didn't. And then you came back and you bounced back from that pocket. I'm saying don't be, this person's all talk and they never do anything. I've never seen them outperform anything. They will always get to a certain level and then they're out. You don't want a reputation.
You're constantly networking.
Everything you do.
I watched, like, okay, Kiley and I were both creative directors. I wish Kiley was here for this topic because I know that she has
she would have stuff to say.
Do. Oh, because we both were working we were both on children books teams. This is how Kiley and I became closer. Kiley and I became closer because she decided that she wanted to be my friend, and I've been grateful for that every single day since then. And so, but like Kiley was like, oh, Kayla's the other creative director. I know what she's going through right now. And like, we talked about it a lot. And like, I know the one student the two students that screwed over Kiley's team to them. I know them. I didn't work with them. I sat in a classroom with them. Never in a million years will ever work with them. If I ever get a say in who's getting hired and their name shows up, I will say never in a million years do you want to work with it. But like,
and Kerr had the exact same experience. He's talked about that in classes about how there was this random group project. He got screwed over by this dude. Years later, he's like, that person has come back to him hunky-dory, not realizing what he did. and being like, when are we gonna work together? And he'll always be like, oh, sometime, and like
Never.
And then leave the conversation, be like, never. Yeah. So
yeah. My other thing before we wrap up, because we've gone over an hour.
We've gone over. It is so easy to talk about this because half of it's venting. It's so easy to vent about this.
Like half of it is venting for me. Half of it, there's like half of it is venting, and then like a quarter of it is like feeling bad because I'm venting about people where I have also done the same thing, and
then
was
the other quarter is like
employee. And then the other quarter is like, but I redeemed myself, and the people that I'm venting about have no intention of doing that.
There's like
I at least apologize.
That was like, what can we learn from this?
Yeah.
And the rest was mostly being like, so and so did this and made me so mad at Don't be the person when you leave the room, people vent about you. Also a good lesson. Just
yeah. Don't be the person that we talk about on Art Check. Come on, guys.
Unless
we're like referencing you. Unless we're referencing you, like we reference Kerr and we're like, this man has he's a robot. He has the most insanely high productivity level. I wish. Like that's but
yeah. Unless we're talking about you in a good way. But
yeah.
The
one thing I also want to say.
Wow, you're blurry.
I didn't even move. I didn't even move that time. This is stupid.
That didn't work.
Come on, stay in focus.
It's getting there. It's getting there. Ah.
I literally didn't even move that time. Is the part that's like making me mad. I literally didn't even move. No, we're not talking about self-imposed deadlines. And I feel like there's going to be somebody out there that might watch this and say, oh, well, I set a deadline for myself and I missed it. And like, they're talking about like how important it is to hit deadlines. You're going to have this reputation. I don't care. Like when Emily and I talk, Emily, I'm going to use you as an example.
Okay.
You have all of these deadlines for your comic, and you have told me all of them. They don't affect me.
They don't affect me.
And you come to me, you're like, I missed this deadline. I'm like, it's okay, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right now, I am in the midst of not meeting a ton of deadlines because I'd like to have this finished by August, right? I love that. This is a totally shoot for the moon, hit the stars situation. Yep. I know that. I also know that when I set one for myself, I go super chill on myself. I know that if I don't meet that deadline, I'll probably just beat myself up, but nothing happens. I don't get fired. I don't lose food or money or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But there are hard external deadlines
we're talking
of what
about,
you do. And you must hit those. And to do that, you should set a schedule. So it was just second nature for me to start planning stuff out, right? So it gets you, honestly, setting deadlines for yourself does make you more tight in like your turnaround. And so that's a great thing to do. Yeah. But if you don't meet your goals and you don't meet your deadlines that you set and nobody cares if you hit them, just be glad that just appreciate the journey, you know?
Yeah. Don't like, and also if you have screwed over a group in the past, we're not saying beat yourself up, because like, that's why I've tried to say, like, I've done it. Like, I did it to like these people that I respect, and like it still sucks, but like, I'm trying to like, don't beat yourself up for it. Just fix it.
Yeah, it's really easy to be better next time. It's really easy to be better next time.
And if you still talk to those people, say you're sorry without them having to bring it up, and it goes a long way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking about like external, your job, your group.
Somebody
your
needs
project.
This from you. Yeah.
Yeah. So like me and this board game, it went south so fast. I talked to the other girl that became creative director. Immense amount of respect for her. We have a very high amount of respect for each other, so it's very nice to work with her because it feels like equals. Like, and she's one of the people that I talked to. I was like, listen, man, I can't do this class right now, but I still want to help you. I've talked it out with like the professors. They understand where I'm coming from, where I just can't simply risk my GPA for this class. Passing isn't enough. I just can't risk my GPA. And but I still want to help. And anyway, so I was talking to her and I was like, hey, I'm going to be stuck in Rexburg for a while. I know that you're not graduating anytime soon. This project, you and I had lengthy discussions about where it was supposed to end up, and it is nowhere near there. What if we kept the name that you and I came up with so nobody can get mad at us, and the rules that you and I came up with, and we redid it? Like,
yeah.
And the thing is like, the reason that we're able to do that is because we both, and we're not extending it. We might be extending it to one other person, but she's not even going to be in the state, so we might not. But the reason that you're able to do that is because in a group project, like let's say Emily and I worked together on a group project, and Emily and I get burned by everybody except each other, and then Emily's far more established in the visual realm than I am. And so like my name appears on Emily's desk, not that we're friends or that we do art check together or something or anything like that. My name appears on Emily's desk versus somebody else who is on that project. Emily's going to look and go, this person stuck with me through this really crappy project. And the project didn't turn out great, but they stayed, versus this person is part of the reason that this project didn't turn out.
Yeah. They were part of the problem.
Yeah. And so I guess the other thing I'm trying to say is like, just because everybody else in your group sucks doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really easy to want to, because I wanted to ditch that group.
Yeah. I don't ever want to do a group project.
No.
Like ever. I'd much rather, it's so much more convenient to be the person who just slides out of the room and is like, yeah, I'll do that. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I talked to Emily about working on the board game with us. I was like, how much do you charge per character? Because I know you don't want to be in a group project, but if I paid you.
If I paid you, would that be enough incentive?
If you made money.
Would it be worth it?
You and I have had this conversation, so
yeah.
you know exactly what I'm talking about. But no, it's seriously, it's just like, it's baffling. It's just, I feel like people think that because it's college or it's a personal project, it's not going to affect you. For some reason, I don't understand why your coworkers make me want to fight people. The fact that they still get paid.
It makes me want to fight them, but then I think about how like understaffed some parts of the thing are, and like there's a lot of people doing like 3 jobs. So
that's
like
reasonable.
It's reasonable. I just wish there was more communication about it. I really wish, hey, like I had to gather that this person does like 3 jobs. I really wish they just told me, hey, I'm doing 3 jobs.
Yeah.
It'd make it so much better. But like I know where it's coming from, and that's the other thing. Sometimes I get mad because I can't actually get that mad, but like I'm mad that I can't be that mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it happens.
And that's the thing too, when we were talking about like the disability services or like somebody coming back, like if somebody screwed over you, I'm going to ask a hypothetical question.
Okay.
Do you have to go, by the way, or can I ask this question?
No, you're good.
Okay. So like somebody comes up to you that you didn't realize had like the 3 jobs or something. They've already screwed you over for the catalog. They came up to you and were like, hey, I screwed you over. I'm sorry. And like, this is the explanation. If somebody were to explain it, would that feel like a cop-out, or like an actual like, oh, okay, I can understand where you were at. Thank you for explaining it. You had a legitimate reason. It helps with my understanding of where you were at.
My really big hang up is, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
So like if somebody were to come to me and be like, I know I screwed you over, I'm so sorry, right? Be like, thank you. I would genuinely really appreciate that. And my like non-confrontational ways would be like, can we stop talking about this? I don't want you to confess me. I know this is so awkward for you and it's making me feel awkward. Right.
Yeah.
But like, I'd be like, wow, thank you so much. You didn't have to tell me all this, da da da. But then I would be like, in the future, I need to know when you can't deliver.
Yeah.
I would love, absolutely more than anything, just a little, hey, Emily, I'm touching base instead of you touching base because you have this deadline you're freaking out about. I would like to tell you, here's where I'm at. That's the other thing. I would love to know where people are at. Sometimes it's pulling teeth to get somebody to answer what they've accomplished, if they have accomplished anything. Anyways, I'd like to know how badly I'm drowning. And so
do I need a life preserver or a lifeboat?
Like, are we talking like I've got seconds left to live, or are we talking I've got time to save myself? Like, how close am I from the shore? There's a lot of factors.
On the Titanic?
Like, I would like to know what temperature is it outside. Like, I don't know any of these things, and so I don't know how bad it's going to be. So I have to rely on luck. And so like that would be a conversation I would have with them of like, thank you so much. In the future, I would love to have more of these discussions with you. I don't care if you're struggling. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know. And so my other thing is if I'm mad at somebody because they didn't do something, my response is always going to be, what can I do to help? One, they could just ignore that question, right? Two, they could see, oh crap, if Emily comes to help me, she's going to know that I did nothing. Maybe I'll do some stuff. Or if they actually take me up on that offer, then I will get the thing sooner than I would have without.
Yeah.
And so, like, there were other times where I had nothing to do but wait for somebody to give me something, and I left work early, which was really frustrating. And so, you know, people got their reasons. I know that. I know I don't know it. It's not my business half the time. I just want to know when people
need help.
It'd be nice. Like, it'd be nice to know that they know that they're not doing something on time and that they would like to do something better about it. That to me is just as good as somebody who turns stuff in on time. As long as they eventually shape up, you know what I mean? So yeah. I could keep going, but
no, you're good. I think that we could have a part 2 on this episode, actually. And
I'm sure it's going to come up at some point, and one of us is going to have reason to talk about it again. Yeah.
It'll come up.
It'll come up eventually, because this is an ongoing, lifelong process as a creative of having to deal with people who don't appreciate deadlines as much.
Yeah.
I'm going to say honestly, that they have other priorities.
If Kurt sometimes watches these lives, sometimes he watches them back. If you watch this, thank you for instilling deadlines in my brain. I genuinely
we both owe that to you, dude.
Cannot thank you enough. You have genuinely instilled this in my brain. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Although it has come with a lot of aggravation for people, it has made me a better person. So thank you.
I also got that from Kurt. So like I also learned that from him.
Yeah. Sometimes he watches these back. If he lasts the whole hour, 18 minutes or
if you made it, dude, here's a little brownie at the end. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. If you want to find my stuff, go to @thecomeback_KLD. If you want to find Emily's stuff, go to @Gomanelli. Like I've said before, she isn't even Emily on this thing. I had to get special permission to call her Emily and not Gomanelli. So go find her there. And recently, what we've been talking about a lot is irsagency.com. I saw a YouTube. I didn't get to watch the whole thing about they might be changing the channel or something.
A restructuring.
I can't tell you all the information. Yeah. I can't tell you all the information, but do you know where you can go find it? irsagency.com, right there. It's super easy. Just go to that link. It's linked in the description below. And thank you, everybody who joined us. It's way more fun when people are in the chats, I will admit.
Another person just joined.
I know. Hello.
Hello.
But it's really, really nice when people are in the chats. It's one of the reasons we switched back to Mondays, because Mondays we were getting more people than Tuesday, Thursdays. So we're building back up to it, but super nice. We will see you guys all on Wednesday, and hopefully I will see some of you guys in the chats on the IRS agency. So thanks, guys. Bye.